Alright, so I'm here with 10 reasons why 9/11 was a conspiracy. I've been researching this topic for a while now, and I've really been interested in it. So I've got a lot, I've got a lot of facts here, to support my, I think that the government did it. The government did 9/11 to get us into war with Afghanistan. And by the way, you say, oh, you're so crazy to think like that. I was looking at charts, and only 25% of people throughout the world, think that Al Qaeda did 9/11. 46%, I think it was like mid 40s, said that they don't know. They don't know who did it. And I sort of think that's where I fall too. But in my opinion, the U.S. government did it to get us into war with Iraq. There's just not enough evidence to, confirm that. But I think the U.S. government either let it happen or they played a big part in, having it happen. So I've done my research. I've got legitimate facts. So I know a lot of these facts you probably never heard before. You know why? It's because the media, they're together. They're conspiring together with the government. If the media talks bad about the government, if they don't agree with the 9/11 Commission report or the Warren Commission, which was the official statement on President Kennedy's murder, if they don't agree with those, then the government won't let them into their press conferences or anything. And if CNN, let's say, isn't allowed in to listen to the State of the Union or isn't allowed government access, then they're screwed. Nobody's going to watch them. They're going to tune into other, fucking networks. So a lot of these you probably never heard on TV before because the media, the big media networks are going to cover them up. They're not going to tell you them. So let's get started here. Number one, there was a memo. And in all these reasons here, a lot of these reasons, I didn't know either until I started researching online. But number one, there was a memo on August 6, 2001. It was called the President's Daily Brief. And it basically said, Bin Laden determined to strike in U.S. The headline was, that was the title of it, Bin Laden determined to strike in U.S. I believe that was it. It basically said Bin Laden wants to hijack planes and run them into buildings in New York. It's basically what it said. It's a page and a half long. Just search it online. August 6th, President's Daily Brief. You'll find it. It's a public document. It's not like I'm making this shit up. That's what it said. In the 9/11 Commission report, it also said that there was 40 other President's Daily Briefs. So that obviously the President gets one of these every day because it's a daily brief. So between let's see, I wrote it down. Around June and July of 2001, which they said that there was approximately 40 of these daily briefs talking about Bin Laden is how he's determined to strike the United States. Now you can't really see all these. The only one you could see is the one from August 6th. But so between about June and August, there was 40 of them talking about Bin Laden. The main one was most of them came in June and July. That's what the 9/11 Commission report said. So it's stupid. Then Condoleezza Rice comes out. I believe she was the Secretary of... I fucking forgot. But she was, a high position. So Rice comes out and says that they didn't have any knowledge, that this was just a general, it didn't specify what he was doing. They couldn't prevent it or whatever. That's bullshit. If you get 40 of these saying, oh, Bin Laden's going to strike the U.S. in 2001, then I think there's a fucking problem there. We better take notice of this. So don't go out and say that you didn't know this was going to happen. You obviously had previous knowledge of it. It's in their own documents. So I forget what Condoleezza Rice was, though. I want to say she was like Secretary of State or something. Something that's having to do with the military or something. She was high up, though, in the, government, though. I forgot what she was, though. I should have wrote it down here. So, next one, the way the buildings fell. I've seen the detonation. I can't say the word detonation. Whatever. You get what I'm trying to say. Detonation experts that blow up buildings so they could fall. They said that the buildings fall, just like it would if you detonated them. So Jesse Ventura is a guy who's a big 9/11 conspiracist. I've watched a lot of his videos. He worked in the Navy SEALs. He was an underground demolition guy, so he knows how to blow up buildings and shit. He knows how to blow things up. And he said that's exactly how a building would fall if you blew it up. So they said, you know, they might have used thermite, which is, it makes, you know, the steel hotter. It makes the fire burn hotter. And by the way, steel, you know, what the World Trade Center was made of, you know, jet fuel burning, it can't melt steel. It's proven, that's a fact. It can't melt steel. So even though these planes flew into the buildings, you know, it's not enough to bring the buildings down, because jet fuel burning cannot melt steel. Alright, that's a fact, people. Jet fuel does not burn hot enough to melt steel. So a lot of people think that there was explosives planted in the building, and you know, thermite, you know, that's what people think. A lot of people think, and I do too, that there was some kind of explosives, bombs, maybe that thermite planted in the buildings to make it explode, make it come down. Very possible there. Number 3, the black boxes. Where the fuck are the black boxes? Now they said they found fucking passports from the fucking terrorists in perfect condition. Like they never even went through a fucking building, or, you know, were involved in an explosion. Alright, so a fucking passport survives? Are you fucking kidding? Is this a joke? Is this a fucking, you know, the black boxes are supposed to withstand the most extreme conditions, the hottest fires. They're supposed to survive the biggest impacts. They're and they fucking didn't. They were too damaged to listen to the recordings. There are very few instances, if any, in history where they don't find the black boxes. I was reading online. They almost always find the black boxes, and here they only found, you know, a little bit of one. That's all they released to us was, you know, a little bit, the transcripts of one, I believe, of the black boxes. So it's fucking retarded. They're trying to say, oh, we found passports of the terrorists, but the black boxes, the things that are supposed to be the most durable, they're gone. And, you know, the only one they found was a Flight 93 one, which is the one that crashed in, was it Philadelphia or Pennsylvania, somewhere around there. It crashed. It was supposedly heading towards the White House. You know, it crashed, I guess. So yeah, it just crashed, and you know, they found the fucking box or whatever, but they only released a little bit of it. They obviously have the boxes somewhere. They just don't know where, you know, they're not gonna release them to us because, I don't know, because it obviously is a conspiracy. Also, you know, the military, the plane was supposedly shot down or whatever. Maybe it crashed. Nobody knows for sure. Where was the military? Where was the military during this? Why weren't fucking military planes in the fucking air? They were told to stand the fuck down. They were told to stand down, supposedly. There's fucking terrorists flying around. You better get some motherfucking planes in the air to protect us. Why weren't any planes in the air? What happened here? You know, somebody should be fucking reprimanded for not getting fucking planes in the air. But no, nobody was fired for this. Nobody was fucking fired. If you fail in the military, you get fucking fired. Why wasn't anybody reprimanded for not getting fucking planes in the air? The biggest terrorist attack of the fucking nation of us, and there's no fucking planes in the air? It's not like this happened in 5 minutes. This happened over a couple hours, you know? You got, you know, maybe not the planes, but once you hear, oh, there's a plane hijacked, it ran into the fucking building. Get a plane in the fucking air. There's more. You know, they found out that the planes were hijacked. They know the planes were hijacked. Why aren't planes getting in the air? Why aren't planes scrambling to get in the fucking air after they found out that a plane was fucking hijacked? It's retarded. Number 4, past events with wars. Every war the United States has really got into in the past 100 years has started with a lie. Let's go back here. There was actually a war with Spain. I believe this was before 1900. But I remember learning in history class, the blowing up of the Maine. It happened, I believe, in Cuba. They blamed it on the Spanish, just to get the public to agree to go to war with Spain. They blamed it on fucking Spain, although it probably didn't have anything to do with them. False flag, conspiracy right there to get us to go to war. World War One, conspiracy there. You know, you had fucking the blowing up of the Lusitania in fucking Atlantic Ocean. They blamed it on the Germans. Oh, the Germans just randomly blew up a ship. Actually, the Germans warned us. They said, hey, turn the fuck around. You know, they knew we had supplies in that ship. We were sending it to Britain. And the Germans stopped us. They're like, turn the fuck around or we're going to blow you up. And the Germans blew us up. And then the United States comes in and says, oh, the Germans just blew up this passenger vessel, although it had supplies on it. It had bombs on it, missiles on it, you know, some shit, because it blew up really fast. I heard it, you know, it lit on fire really fast, so it had some kind of military weapon in there. So that was a false flag, a conspiracy to get us to go to war in World War I. World War II, Pearl Harbor. Probably the government knew about it, the president knew about it before it happened. He had prior knowledge that it was going to happen, and he let it happen to get us into the war. Now, if you want to go to war, fine, but don't lie about it. Come on, you know, tell your citizens, hey, we got to go to war. We got to do something to stop Hitler or whatever if you really want to go to war that bad. And if you have credibility among your citizens, then your citizens will believe you. Or, you know, I'm a guy that's totally against war. I don't believe we should even be in any of these countries. Pull all our military forces out of every single place in the world and just focus on protecting our borders. Don't worry about this fucking big fucking, you know, we don't have to have military in every country. That's how the Roman Empire fell. They expanded too big and they couldn't control everything. And then they made too many enemies, and then those enemies ended up attacking them and they fell. That's how we're gonna fucking die off, and that's how America's gonna end. Number 5. Oh wait, I'm not done yet. I got more wars to talk about. Vietnam. They admitted it was a lie. They admitted that the Gulf of Tonkin incident, which supposedly happened, and then we went to war with Vietnam after that. It didn't happen. They admitted it was a lie. It was a false flag to get us to go to war. They admitted it was a fucking lie. McNamara came out. He was, I believe he was, I forgot, but he was a big guy and, you know, going into war. Big guy that, you know, in government back then. He said it was a lie. He came out and stated, we lied about it. The last one, Iraq. They said we have weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. That's what the United States government told their people. There's WMDs in Iraq. There wasn't. They lied about it to get us to go to war with fucking Iraq. Total lie right there. And then they also lied about Al-Qaeda being tied to Iraq and being in Iraq. They said, oh, Al-Qaeda's in Iraq. They have ties to Iraq. They didn't. It was a lie. So all these wars we've gone into over the past years were lies. Now, I don't know about the Korean War. I haven't done any research on that, so I don't know about that one. But number 5, insider trading. There was tradings done with the American Airlines stock and the United Airlines stock before 9/11. A ton of trading. A lot more than fucking usual trading. It's confirmed. You cannot fucking debate those facts. There was a lot of trading done with American Airlines. A lot more than usual before 9/11 was committed or done. You know, before September 11th, you know, like a week before, a ton of fucking trading with United Airlines and American Airlines, which were the planes that were flown into the World Trade Centers and Pentagon, and the one that crashed and supposedly crashed into the ground. So a lot of insider trading. Number 6, they didn't start the 9/11 investigation, the 9/11 Commission report. They didn't start it till, I got it written down here, 442 days after the attack. Now your country just got one of the biggest attacks in the history of America. Arguably the worst, you know, probably is the worst attack in the fucking history of America. And you don't start your investigation until 442 days after it happens. If I was president and the biggest terrorist attack in fucking American history took place, I would be scrambling to get an investigation up to fucking find out who's behind this. Why were they waiting over a year to get it started? Stupid. Number 7, another confirmed fact. On September 10th, the Treasury says, we don't know where $2.3 trillion is. We don't know where it is. It supposedly just disappeared out of fucking midair. We don't know where it is. September 11th happens. 9/11, you know, the buildings fall, whatever. Then that news of the $2.3 trillion being lost, or not, you know, they don't know where it is. gets covered up. It doesn't get covered up really, but it just, is not going to be in the storylines when one of the biggest stories ever happens. It's going to be overshadowed by 9/11. Number 8, Afghanistan. I believe it was in 2011 or 2010, just recently. They found a vein of lithium worth $1 trillion in fucking Afghanistan. And you know what lithium's used for? Cell phones, computers, and electric cars, which are probably going to be, take over fucking regular cars that use gas in in the future. So they found a vein of lithium worth $1 trillion. Now they might have known this before 9/11 happened, and they probably did. But they're not going to come out and say right after 2000, right after they invade right after they invade Afghanistan, they're not going to come out and say, oh, we found a vein of lithium in 2001, because then it's going to seem like, oh, we went to war for lithium. So they come out 10 years later and say it, and it doesn't seem like anything to us. I didn't even hear about this. Why didn't I hear about this? I don't fucking know. A lot of these facts, don't hear about them. It's fucking stupid. So they just found this vein of lithium. It's like, whoa, but they just find it in 2011. What, did somebody fucking trip over it? What, did some soldier look down and see, oh, hey, there's lithium? I don't think so. I think they knew about it before 9/11 happened. Number 9, the people, they killed people, who were involved in 9/11 supposedly. And it's also supposedly they admitted to doing 9/11 after they were waterboarded. I think it was like 160 times, they said. I've heard different things between 160 and 180, I've heard. So they were waterboarded like 160 times. Now if you go on and watch people getting waterboarded, Mancow, I believe his name was, it was a radio talk guy who got waterboarded. He only lasted like 7 seconds when he was waterboarded. Jesse Ventura is a guy who was a SEAL, and as a part of being a SEAL, you got to get waterboarded for it. He was waterboarded. He said it was torture. People who have been waterboarded say it is torture. It is torture. And Jesse Ventura also says you could get anybody to admit anything if you waterboard people. So we only waterboard fucking Muslims, it seems like. That's the only people who we waterboard. If it's so great, this waterboarding technique, why don't we do it to everybody? Why don't we waterboard fucking criminals? Why don't we? Because it gives fraudulent information. You could get anybody to admit anything with waterboarding. Last one, 9/11, the people who did it were tried in a military tribunal. Now what is a military tribunal for? It's supposed to be for people belonging to a military. Is Al-Qaeda a form of military? No, they're not. So why are they tried in a military tribunal? Let me tell you why. They should be tried in a fucking court of law, regular court with a public, where it's public. You could hear everything being said. The Boston bombers, they're going to be tried, I believe, in a regular court. So why aren't 9/11? Why isn't the 9/11 people being tried in a regular court? So they could cover it up. A military tribunal. It's not public. Then they could come out and tell you whatever they want. The government can tell you whatever they want. Because there's no public, footage of it, so they could lie about it. And Al-Qaeda is not a military. They're not a formal military belonging to a country. Why are they being tried as a military tribunal? It totally goes against their fucking constitution, basically. I believe somebody said, it's in the Constitution, this military tribunal. I don't know everything in the Constitution. I know a lot of it, though. But, so I'm pretty sure this goes against the fucking Constitution. But, just because they're from a different country doesn't mean they're military. If somebody, let's say, from France comes over here and fucking kills a guy. Boom, he kills a guy. Or kills 5 guys. Let's say he kills 5 guys. Walks into a fucking mall. Boom, boom, boom. Kills 5 guys. Do we try him in a military tribunal? No. We try him in a fucking public court. The regular court system. So, to wrap up this video, I want to say, leave your comments. Let me know what you think. I'm not this crazy conspiracy guy. I've done my work, and I've done my research on it. I know my shit. So let me know what you think about it. Do you think it's a conspiracy? I've heard a lot. There's a ton of different conspiracies. I think the U.S. government did it. Some people think that Israel did it. Some people think, there's just a ton of different conspiracies about it. And I might seem crazy, but 9/11 is a new JFK conspiracy. You know, I think in 20 or 30 years, 9/11 conspiracy theorists won't be viewed as crazy. Because JFK, you know, when it first came out, I'm sure you were crazy to think it was a conspiracy, but flash ahead 50 years later, and now it's pretty obvious it's a conspiracy, even more than 9/11. So I will be doing another video on JFK conspiracy. But yeah, let me know what you think. Do you think it's a conspiracy? Do you think it isn't a conspiracy? And please don't fucking flip out. Don't say, oh, you're a fucking retard, and, you know, tell me why you don't agree with me. Be civil about it, alright, guys? Don't fucking... I see a lot of people saying, oh, fuck you, you're a fucking bitch. You know, just... But give me legitimate reasons why you think it's a conspiracy. You don't think it's a conspiracy. You think, you know, you believe the 9/11 Commission report. Give me legitimate reasons. And do your fucking research, too. Have you done any research? If you're saying that 9/11 isn't a conspiracy, have you read the President's Daily Brief on August 6, 2001? Have you done research on 9/11? You know, because the government isn't going to tell us anything that goes against 9/11 Commission reports, obviously. And media isn't either. They're not. Because why? I already mentioned it. You know, they're going to... If the media goes against what the government says, then the government won't let the media into their fucking press conferences, their speeches, you know, the State of the Union. They won't be able to cover it and shit like that. So, yeah, let me know what you think about this video. Let me know what you think about it. So, there you go. In my opinion, 9/11's a fucking conspiracy to get us into war with Afghanistan. So, there you go, people.